As I previously mentioned, in addition to speech, Interact also instantly translates whatever you type. Plus, if you have a tablet PC, whatever you write. To instantly translate typing, a single click in the text box is all it takes. When you're done, simply click the Translate button, and everything that you've typed or written is instantly translated.
¿Cómo se siente usted?
Likewise, if the other person wants to type a phrase to translate, just click in the middle text box, and whatever they type or write is instantly translated and spoken out loud.
Very good.
And for translation of speech in the second language, in this case Spanish, all that's needed is a single click on that microphone. No entiendo inglés.
I do not understand English.
The right edge of the interface has icons that control each text box. The loudspeaker button voices aloud any text that is contained in the box.
I do not understand English.
And the trash can deletes any displayed text. These same icons are also used for the foreign language box.
No entiendo inglés.
For the bottom box, which is the transcription log, there are 3 buttons. The top one is for loading a transcription that you previously saved, the middle one is for saving your current transcription, and the bottom one deletes the current transcript, erasing any text that is in the box. Let's start with the middle one, which again saves the current transcription. To do this, double-click on the icon, and then enter a name for the transcript. In this case, I'll simply call it My Transcription Log. You then choose how you want to save the file. This can be saved as an Interact log file, a plain text file, or a rich text file. The latter 2 options, plain or rich text files, are what you want if you're using Microsoft Word. In this case, I'll go ahead and save it as a rich text file. When you save the transcript as a Compadre log file, then later you can reload that file back into Interact by clicking on the Load Log button. For example, if you used Interact to transcribe a meeting or a conversation with a client, you can save the transcription and the synchronized voice recording, and later that evening, review the notes and if you'd like, listen to portions of the meeting that you would like repeated. And just as was done in the top and middle boxes, the trash can erases all of the text that is contained in the box. Right in the center of the interface, you have some additional buttons. Let me enter some text to show you how these work. The phone number here at the office is 507-664-9123.
El número de teléfono aquí en la oficina es 507-664-9123.
As an aside, note that Interact automatically formatted the transcription so that it's easier for you to read. I didn't say the dash is in the phone number, but Interact is smart enough to realize that they should be inserted. The same applies for items like prices, where the $ is automatically entered into your transcript. Let's get back to describing these icons in the center of the screen. These 2 buttons increase and decrease the font size. Click on this button to make the font size larger, and click on this one to make it smaller. This large button in the center is used whenever you are typing or writing text, and is also used when you are translating speech, but the auto-translate feature is turned off. Click this button for the translation or voice synthesis to occur. And this icon here is for the Live Interpreter module. Clicking on this button will connect you to a live interpreter for instant translation of over 190 spoken languages. When you click on this button, you'll see a number pad where you can enter your user account. Again, please note that you need to have purchased Compadre's Live Interpreter module for this feature to work. Well, that concludes our rather quick tour of the Translate page. Let's move on to the Configure page. The Configure page is where you can customize Interact specifically for your situation. Before I get started on this, let me resize the interface back to the default setting. There are 4 tabs in this page: User Options, Composer, Speech Recognition, and Voice Synthesis. Let's start with the User Options tab. In this video, I'm just giving you a quick tour, not every detail, so let me just point out a few items. Let's start with the Auto-Translate feature. Use this feature when you want to translate continuous speech, such as a presentation in a workshop, a radio broadcast, or a religious service. With this feature turned on, you do not need to click the Translate button. Interact automatically translates whatever is being said. If you're in a situation where you want to always make sure that Interact has precisely captured your speech before generating the translation, then turn off this feature and instead use the manual mode. In this mode, you can first verify that Interact has precisely transcribed the speech, make any corrections if needed, and then when you click the Translate button, that sentence will be translated and entered into the transcription log. Note that you can always use your keyboard to edit the transcription, and that by checking this box, you can also use voice commands to make any desired changes. Let me go back to the Translate page to show you how this works. For example, I can say, today is Monday.
Hoy es el lunes.
And then change that by typing. Or I could have done that much quicker by using my voice. Let's go ahead and redo that, this time using my voice. Today is Monday. Select Monday. Tuesday. So that was much faster than typing, plus it gives me a hands-free solution where I don't need to use a keyboard or a touchscreen to make any changes. Again, to enable voice commands, select this button. Also, to see a listing of all available voice commands, select this button and then click on the Available Voice Commands link. If you use a lot of acronyms at work, then you can click on this button, and when somebody uses an acronym in their speech, it is automatically expanded for you into the actual words. So if they say TBD, then what you'll see in the transcript is to be determined. Note that you need to enter these acronyms using the Composer Editor tool. The steps for doing this are described in the video titled Using Interact's Keyword Feature. In many situations, the full duplex feature is nice to use. With this feature turned off, then Interact automatically disables the microphone whenever it is voicing aloud a translation. You need to wait until Interact is done voicing a translated phrase before you can speak a new one. To prevent feedback, leave full duplex off if you're in a situation where the microphone is close to your computer's audio speaker. When the full duplex feature is turned on, then Interact listens to what is being said at the same time it is voicing aloud the translated phrases. Here you do not have to wait for the translation to be spoken before you say your next phrase. Just keep speaking. Use the full duplex mode for continuous speech situations like when you're translating a presentation or a radio broadcast. In the bottom portion of the User tab, you can choose the amount of detail that you want in your transcript log. You'll probably want both the original and translated text in your transcript, but unless you're in public safety or medical or legal professions, you probably will not need the timestamp or a listing of the languages being spoken. Let's move on to the Composer tab. The Composer tab is used to enter your own vocabulary, such as acronyms, idioms, proper nouns, keywords, shortcuts, or any other terms. This tab also includes the Composer Editor tool that I previously mentioned. This is a powerful tool that allows you to customize Interact so it precisely supports your communication needs. Use of this tab is covered in detail in the user guide, which is located in the help page. Plus, the help page also includes a tutorial video on adding new vocabulary. Each time you start Interact, it's a good idea to go to this tab to make sure that your microphone is working properly. Also use this tab if you find that Interact is all of a sudden not working very well. For example, your microphone may have become unplugged. Just click on the microphone icon, and Interact will verify that your microphone is plugged in and working correctly. The reason there are two windows is that in some applications you may want to use two microphones with your Interact module, one for you and one for the other person. The last tab in the Configure page is for voice synthesis. You can choose the type of voice you want to use. For example, a male or a female voice, or if you purchased our remote module, you can even choose accents such as Canadian or Australian. Whatever best represents you as an individual. In this case, I'll go ahead and use a male voice.
You are now hearing a sample sentence.
You can also change the volume and cadence of the voice synthesis, making it slower,
You are now hearing a sample sentence.
or making it faster.
You are now hearing a sample sentence.
Note that if you're using Interact to voice out translations, you'll want to set the cadence to match that of the person who is speaking. For now, I'll just leave this at the default setting. There are many additional features within the Configure page. You can learn more about these by watching additional instructional videos or by reading the user guide. For now, let's move on to the visual page. You've perhaps heard the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Interact is all about communication, so we've included the ability for you to use pictures as part of your communications. When you click on the Visualize tab, a menu opens up where you can select any picture or document on your computer or your computer network. In this case, I'll pick a map, but this could be any picture. Many times this is simply a clean drawing pad that you'll use to sketch out your ideas, just like you would in using a whiteboard. You can use Interact's tools to draw and annotate right on the pictures. Let me close the screen and we'll move on to the next page. Last but certainly not least is the Help page. When you click on this icon, you can view Interact's user guide. If you want, you can step through each chapter of this user guide, starting with the Welcome section and moving through the entire document. Note that if you go to the support page of SpeechGear's website, you can download a printable version of the user guide. Here's the web address for doing this. For assistance, you can also send an email to support@speechgear.com. In addition to reading the individual chapters, you can use the index to find information, such as the acronym expansion feature that I showed earlier in this video. Plus, you can search the user guide for items of interest. Here I've entered voice commands into the search box. This shows me a listing of all the sections in the user guide that discuss that item, and I can then click on the ones that are of most interest to me. Note that there is a down arrow just to the right of the Help page icon. There are several items included here. The show introductory video plays a quick video that tells people how Interact works. Note that this video is played in the language that you've loaded. So in this case, since I have a Spanish module loaded, then the video is played in Spanish. It's a quick way to let somebody else know how to interact. Let's jump to the launch tutorial video. When you select this, you'll see a list of 10 instructional videos that take you from getting started to advanced features such as Interact's hands-free interface and adding new vocabulary. Just click on any of these titles and the video is displayed. I'll go ahead and select Chapter 9, which gives some tips on using Interact.
Here are some useful tips to remember when you are using Interact. Think about what you would like to say before you speak. That way you won't pause in the middle of a sentence and possibly confuse Interact as to what you were saying. Try to speak in complete sentences. Avoid using slang or other confusing or extraneous words such as or you know. Speak in a normal conversational voice, not too fast or too loud. Speak in the same manner as you did.
And I'll stop that video for now, but please do take some time to view all these videos that again are located in the Help page. Well, that completes this overview of Interact. Thanks for watching the videos. We stepped through each of the 5 main pages, going from the user page all the way through to the Help page. To learn more about Interact and SpeechGear's entire suite of instant translation products, please visit our website, which is www.speechgear.com.